Oh my gosh, y'all. This is like the fourth or fifth time that I've tried to get this right. Please pray for me. This is so frustrating. Anyway, I had to hang in there. I recorded like 3 or 4 videos now, and it's recording like my sound sometimes and without the screen, and then all these different. It's a mess. Hopefully, I've got it down this time. I know I can see now that you can hear me. Let's see if you can hear my screen. So, this is FBI identifies gunman as Thomas Matthew Crooks in Trump assassination attempt. So, here we go. Here we go.
New video just in shows former President Trump getting off of his plane in New Jersey just hours after an assassination attempt killed one person. The chaos in Pennsylvania sent shockwaves across the nation. Former President Trump left bloody after a shooter opened fire at that campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. Good evening. I'm Michelle Esteban.
And I'm Preston Phillips. Here's what we know right now. Just moments ago, law enforcement identified the gunman as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. According to the Association.
Again, he's 20 years old. I feel like I've said that like 15 times because all the other videos I recorded before this one that you guys didn't get to see, I said that like at the same point. Like, this kid is 20 years old. All right. He hasn't been around for very long, yet he managed to climb to the top of a building and get at least 2, 3, maybe even 4 shots off. You know, when I counted the shots, because I've seen the incident several times. When I counted the shots, it's like 7 or 8 shots. It's hard to really tell because you can't tell what's an echo. You can't really be sure what's an echo and what's not. It's hard for me. But like I said, my point is, he's 20 years old. I don't know if he has background or military background or any of that. I'm just pointing something out. You know, I haven't dug into this kid yet. I probably will this week. I'll probably have some free time and dig into the kid. Maybe I'll have something more to say on the next video, but let's continue. 20 years old.
Press, he fired from a rooftop less than 164 yards away, about a football field and a half away from where President Trump was standing. He was then shot and killed by Secret Service. One person attending the rally was shot and killed. 2 others were critically hurt. No motive has been identified yet.
And that was a long gun that he was using, right? Okay. I think it was.
And I think that once the shooter is identified, anyone that has specific information on that shooter, that would be very helpful as well to help us assess motive. And again, as I mentioned earlier, we are absolutely not taking for granted that this was a lone wolf attack.
Former President Trump's presidential campaign confirms he will be attending the RNC convention in Milwaukee. That starts on Monday.
Tonight, we have team coverage for you on this assassination attempt. Our crews are standing by to tell us how our local
Como News, y'all. That's where I'm getting this information from. Como News, ABC4.
leaders are reacting, what this means for public safety and the election going forward. But we want to start tonight with national correspondent Kayla Gaskins.
She joins us from Capitol Hill with what we know about this developing situation.
Donald Trump releasing a statement in the hours after the attack, saying he was shot by a bullet that pierced his upper ear. He also thanked the Secret Service for their action and gave condolences to the rally attendants.
Every time I hear somebody talk about where he was hit, I mean, I'm just like so grateful that these people are inadequate.
Who died. Trump's campaign confirmed the former president is fine and that he was checked out at a local medical facility. A political rally turned into a crime scene.
This is a big crowd. This is a big, beautiful crowd.
As the former president spoke to his supporters in Butler, Pennsylvania Saturday, gunshots ripped through the air.
1, 2, 3. I guess it
Donald
wasn't
Trump
that
seen
bad.
reaching for his ear before dropping to the ground. Secret Service immediately rushing the stage to surround him. Screams heard in the crowd. Go. Hawkeye's here. After a few tense moments, the former president on his feet, blood spattered across his cheek and ear. Trump giving a fist bump as Secret Service.
I mean, if you guys know politics, there's no way that Trump is going to lose now. It's just not going to happen. So, and we still have a couple more months before we have to vote. So I'm telling you, this is not going to be the last crazy thing that happens before the election.
Whisked him away to the hospital. The Associated Press reporting the shooter is dead.
Man, I bet they're pissed.
Along with one rally attendee, President Biden spoke to Trump following the shooting and earlier condemned the violence.
There's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick.
Biden's sick.
Republican House Majority Leader Steve Scalise was shot in 2017 by a left-wing activist. On Saturday, Scalise.
Left wing, you guys. Left wing.
Writing, for weeks, Democrat leaders have been fueling ludicrous hysteria that Donald Trump winning re-election would be the end of democracy in America. Clearly, we've seen far-left lunatics act on violent rhetoric in the past. This incendiary rhetoric must stop. We spoke with a Trump supporter who was 6 rows from the stage.
Just a sad day for America.
Listen, again, I don't know if you guys watched my last video. I don't know if I'm going to leave it up or not, but in the video, this isn't really a sad day. Like, this is a day to celebrate. We witnessed a miracle, and the people who set this up, and I'm not going to go into all that. I don't know if I should go into all that, but the people who did set this up, this was clearly inside. This was clearly not just some weak nut out of left field. Okay, we're supposed to have security for those folks. Anyway. It's really not a sad day. It's a day to celebrate. We still have Donald Trump to vote for in November, which is exactly what I'm going to do. And there's going to be a lot more other people that do that now. I know he's got to be getting donations all over the place. So we really witnessed a miracle.
Just a really sad day for America. The vibe was, it was open with prayer. People were united. This is America. This is freedom, regardless of your politics.
This rally was supposed to be a celebratory moment for Trump heading into the GOP convention in Milwaukee that starts Monday. The convention will no doubt have a very different feel with tighter security now on tap in the wake of Saturday's shooting. In Washington, I'm Kayla Gaskins.
Kayla, thanks very much. No details have been released about the phone call between President Biden and Donald Trump. The president is back at the White House tonight. He will convene a briefing with Homeland Security and law enforcement officials tomorrow morning.
Here in Washington state, we're getting local reaction from voters. Some are expressing that this is an eye-opener about just how divided this country is.
I actually think that this is bringing the country closer together. Call me crazy. But I actually think that this incident is going to bring the country closer together. I think a lot more people see that this is getting really serious. I mean, these people have no limits to what they are willing to do to get what they want. It's a sociopathic state. Like, it's definitely a mental issue. Let's just call it that.
Karina Vargas live tonight in Seattle. Karina, what have people been telling you?
Oh, Preston, people tell me that violence is never the answer, no matter.
I believe it's called antisocial personality disorder. There's like psychopath and sociopath, and these people fall under that umbrella.
Once political
as far as I can tell.
affiliation. Now, some
I'm
tell
not
me
a professional.
that they think that this will only further the country, that they will further divide the country, but others say that they hope that this might bring people together. Now take a listen at some of their reactions.
We saw it. We were actually looking at television right at the time.
Yeah,
and it
I was
just
too.
like
I was watching it. I was watching it. And I went into straight denial at first. I was like, no. I had to rewind it, watch it, rewind it, watch it.
shock.
I was like, no way.
Absolute shock.
Because we know these people are crazy, but I mean, it's getting to a point where they're just looking stupid now.
And just
well, pretty shocking that there's an assassination attempt on a presidential candidate.
I was
just shocking me, honestly. I never thought like that. This day and age, something like that would happen.
Now, those we talked to say that their votes are set and that this is not changing how they will be voting in November. Now, the big concern that many are having is safety at the polls. Yeah, and some tell me that they hope that this...
It is not going to change anyone's opinion at all. We're just going to go to the polls and vote. Now they're going to talk about safety at the polls. Listen, this is getting ridiculous. Safety at the polls. We have to be worried about if a crazy liberal Democrat is going to come to the polls and shoot us. You know, and they're the ones that talk about gun safety and gun violence and how much they hate that. And yet we have to be worried about going to the polls and being taken out by one of these psychos.
Will evoke a lot more security measures. For now, reporting in Seattle, Karina Vargas coming.
I'm going
certainly
anyway.
underscoring the divisive.
Even if I was worried, I'm going to vote anyway. I'm going to vote anyway. I'm going to vote for Trump. That's what I'm going to do.
Rhetoric. Karina, thank you. There will certainly be consequences for the upcoming election cycle. Today's shooting will lead to a reassessment of political events and rallies all across the country and right here. KOMO's Paul Rivera joins us now live with what we're expecting to see in the next few days. Paul, such a concerning moment here.
Yeah, and it has certainly been mentioned before, but we'll mention it again. Security certainly going to increase at these high-profile events moving forward. Tonight, we talked with someone who has worked in that field before. We're asking them also, how could something like this have happened? We're also going to hear from our political analyst about the ramifications of this moving forward.
I mean, one thing they can't do is they cannot accuse this young man of being a crazy Trump supporter, right? Like, we all know he's not a crazy Trump supporter.
Jim Fuda now leads Crime Stoppers, but he worked for years with the King County Sheriff's Office, and at the time he was in Special Operations and a liaison for Secret Service. So what happened with the security protocols before the assassination attempt on former President Trump? Was there a way to prevent this?
There are they call them counter snipers up looking at the crowd.
Counter snipers. Okay, wait. Listen, I stopped it here in the last video too. I'm actually so glad that I caught that. There's counter snipers put in place. And yet, this young man made it to the top of a rooftop. And there's counter snipers. That's what this man just said.
Looking at the surrounding areas, and from what I heard on the news is that the shooter had not been up on the roof for very long, just minutes.
Just minutes, he says. He wasn't up there very long. He wanted to make sure he said that. He wasn't up there very long, just minutes. Because he knows how freaking crazy it sounds.
Should he have been spotted? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. We've only had this Secret Service around forever. And like, this is actually part of the security procedure is to, check out rooftops. Everyone that goes to one of these rallies goes through a metal detector. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not going to Monday night quarterback that because I wasn't there and the investigation is nowhere near as complete.
What happens now?
I would think some of it's going to get a little tighter. They'll spread out a little further. There'll be other agencies, local, depending on where they go, that they'll require more assets.
But it is clear a full reassessment of protocols will be happening, and work will happen here.
They're going to reassess their procedure
Here locally. Do you think the conversations within the law enforcement community have already started?
Oh, absolutely.
What would they be talking about?
What happens if this happens here? Same thing what happened in 9/11, and agencies from all over the United States went to New York to see what happened and see how their area could do it better.
We also talked with Como political analyst Ron Dotzauer. What's your final message to voters, to Americans, in what is a very difficult day?
Continue as best you can to stay engaged, okay? We have to show people around the world that this is not acceptable behavior in this country or anywhere else. And
this has never been acceptable behavior ever. We don't have to show anybody that. That's already been established long ago, and yet it keeps happening.
We can show that by participating.
We keep giving these people our tax money.
Our local and state law enforcement sent me statements. The King County Sheriff's Office told us today this is all under consideration. They say they'll respond to our local events as necessary. WSP told me they are maintaining their focus and their readiness. We'll send it back to you.
Paul, thanks very much. New tonight, both Washington State Party chairs condemning the violence.
Two governors.
Y'all, I'm just going to stop it right here. Thank you so much for watching my video. I'm so sorry about the last one. I made a total bobo. Sorry about that. I didn't get any of the sound. So thank you for stopping by, and I'm going to put out another video next week, probably on Sunday. I do work for a living too, so love you guys. Please like, please subscribe, please share. It helps the algorithm, gets my video out there, and my channel. Love you guys. Bye.